Selecting a financial advisor or an investment advisor is one of the more important decisions a family will make. However, it's really an objective decision and based on a lot of empirical evidence that's quite obvious that can be obtained by a lot of different sources. Bill, what are your ideas on selecting a financial advisor?
I do have a few, Kevin. You have to decide the firm or the person to handle your money, your funds, okay, your hard-earned money.
Yes.
All right. I look at experience and intelligence, okay? This must be the key ingredient. Also, chemistry. Can you get along with the person, okay? Accessibility. In other words, the initial interview, that's the last time you see him or talk to him? No, that don't work. The other area is this person legitimate? In other words, an investigation through FINRA, which is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. This is the watchdog. They're just like the Securities and Exchange Commission. All information on anybody that has been cited for being dishonest can be found on their site. The other thing that you should consider is that their licenses. Do they have a Series 7, 66, and perhaps 65? Now, there are many forms of financial advisors. Probably the top rung, if you will, is a certified financial advisor, okay? There are in the United States approximately 60,000 of these. They drill down a little bit deeper into data and information, and they may not be for the average investor. However, they do have, if you will, the top credentials. Kevin, that's what I'd like to say about this. Do you have any ideas? And of course, everybody's concerned about what is this going to cost?
Sure.
So if you could give the folks an idea, I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Right. Well, the certified financial planners, the CFPs, will typically charge a fee just to take a look at your documents and situations that exist in the family, legacy planning, things of that nature. And the skills that they bring to this kind of planning is extraordinarily useful. But it's really not for everyone. There are it's not necessary to really have a CFP to be a very fine advisor and provide great value to a client. Financial advisors particularly operate on the basis of suitability. An investment advisor, and this is a little bit of a licensing issue, an investment advisor is bound by law to have a fiduciary responsibility with the client, which is, in my opinion, very important. Bill, what are your thoughts about financial advisor and investment advisor differences?
Well, I find that the difference is somewhat very close, okay? What you mentioned as far as fiduciary, that is obviously key, okay? They must be on your team.
Right.
They cannot work for the securities companies. They are, if you will, your person, your man, okay?
Right. Yeah, that's really the key, is the many financial advisors, and there are many great ones, have a primary responsibility to the investment houses that they're working for, where an investment advisor has that fiduciary relationship and is really on the same side of the table as the client. Mm-hmm. And as far as fees are concerned, the investment advisor typically works on a asset under management model where a percentage is earned for the work that's performed, and there should be work that's performed by that investment advisor over the course of a year, at least 2 meetings per year. Some clients prefer to meet even 4 times a year on a quarterly basis. Another consideration that a client may wish to consider is, will that advisor be the only person working with you, or do they have a staff? Is it delegated out? If you think you're working with a really senior person, then you get the junior person. That's not all that satisfying. So getting that information up front is very important.
Yes, you don't want to have to work with the second team when you've hired the first team, okay? Right. The other thing for people in our demographics, capital preservation is very important, and I think that should be a part of your interview when you talk to your potential financial advisor.
one of the most important cautionaries that could be shared in the selection of a financial advisor is never transfer funds directly to the advisor. Have those funds transferred to a custodian, such as Fidelity or TD Ameritrade, or possibly an insurance company, something of that nature, but never to the individual advisor.
I'm Bill Campbell.
And I'm Kevin Dauphinee, with Hard-Earned Money for Anthem Alive.